Dave, here's Liam from last lesson. Uh, so we're working on getting some early momentum, moving the body before he breaks the hand so that his arm doesn't have that much time to get up. So if he is able to generate more momentum from the beginning, first movement, he will get the arm up in a much better place at a better time, which will help him get away from this slinging action. Okay, but really what's causing his problem, and with this inconsistent throw is, I mean, sometimes he gets a good one and sometimes he doesn't. The reason why he's up early and he's got this long slinging motion is because he has no leg drive. So let's take a look at his back foot. If you watch here, watch how when he gets out into landing, look at where his back foot is. I mean, he's already touched the ground out here, and his back foot is all the way, it's completely down. So really all he does, and I think I said this once before in an earlier lesson, all he does now is his back leg drive is so late and so minimal that he doesn't really get leg drive. He just kind of shifts his weight from one foot to the next. You see that both feet are down. So now it's just a shifting of the weight, and that's not a leg drive. He's shifting weight, and he leans his trunk forward, and his elbow comes from this position up here, and then it moves downward, downward, down. He throws that elbow out in the downward plane, and the elbow never really stops. It never stops and allows the hand to sling over. His elbow's got to stop, and the arm will now throw over. But watch how his elbow continues to move forward, move forward, move forward, way out in front of his body, really unhealthy for his arm. And that's going to catch up to him. His main problem is he has no leg drive. And we need to work that leg drive. We need to work some power out of this foot and out of this ankle. He's got to do a lot of jumps. He has to do some explosive jump, any kind of explosive movements with that foot. Definitely jump roping, vertical jumps, horizontal jumps, one-legged jumps. He's just got very, very slow either muscle fiber power, or he's just not used to moving fast. So this is not a drive. This is a leg lean. It's a shifting of the weight. So really what happens here is, and both feet are really closed. I mean, he's trying to throw a ball in this direction, and both feet are closed. I mean, we can work on arm path all day long, but the arm has to be timed with the hip. If the hips don't move, see how closed off he is? Look at his hips are literally facing us. There's no turn in the hips. There's no turn in the ankle. And watch how his foot just pops up. Pop. It pops right up. That's an indication that there's no leg drive. It's just a lean, and now he shifts weight from the back to the front, leaning because both feet are on the ground. So it's just a shift. You see that? It's just a shift. That foot's got to be off the ground, but it also has to be like, there's got to be some kind of movement here in that back foot. It doesn't just pop up. It moves forward by the power of the push. And of course this foot opens up and the hips start to rotate. We'll get this fixed. It's going to come with repetition and learning the coordination of powering more out of this leg and turning these hips and then getting the arm up while those hips are starting to turn. So it's a coordination of back leg power and arm coming up at the right time. And everything with him, of course, is happening too soon. So when we're working on weight shift, see how he pulls his weight back? So he's standing here with his weight distributed evenly on his feet and on his knees. And then as he lifts his leg, he leans back. Okay, that can't happen there. That's got to be already set. He's got to be set here. so that he can just lift the leg and then drive out. But he's got to shift back, and now as he lifts the leg, he drops the hands. But notice that he hasn't moved anywhere. See that line? His back hip hasn't really moved anywhere. He's shifted he broke his hands right there, and he's still right on that line. So we got to get away from that. We got to get away from stepping back or shifting the weight back as he lifts his leg up. We got to just get the leg up, keep the weight already here as he bends that knee. He kicks the leg up with aggressiveness, and then he pushes out. I can tell the weight isn't even on the inside of his foot. It's on the outside of his foot. I don't know if you can see that, but see how his foot, I could tell that the weight is on the outside of the foot there. So he never really gets it to the inside of the foot until he lands this foot, and now his heel just barely starts to come off the ground. All right, so his problems will be fixed. His arm action will be fixed. All that will be fixed when he learns how to get the weight forward, shift, get this leg activated a lot sooner, start driving off the mound here. As he's here in this position here, he starts moving forward with more movement and gets to the inside part of the foot and then really kicks that ankle. He's got to gain ground out here. He just kind of drops. He's right there and he just drops. I mean, and his leg is not even close to being linear. So look at this. Look at where I draw that line. Let me draw a straighter line. Look at where that leg is. I mean, that knee's got to be angled somewhere down here at this point so that he can drive. He can't drive if he's too vertical. All right, so we will fix that, and it's all going to come with his legs. If his legs don't start moving faster, he's going to get this long arm. His arm isn't even that long, really. It's just that it has nowhere to go because he's not even close to being landing. You know, there's no leg drive. Look at how vertical he is here, and he's just about ready to turn and land. And even when he turns, that knee still isn't really in line with his hip at all. I mean, that knee's got to be close to his hip. All right. So we'll work on it. We'll keep going with it, but we got to get those legs. We got to put him on a leg program. He's got to start doing some explosive movements and maybe some weight. We'll put some weight resistance on him and get that leg to fire. And I'm telling you, his arm is going to fix itself. All right. See you soon.